Imagine it's 1958. The world is on the brink of the space race, the Cold War is at its peak, and computers are massive room-sized machines. But in a small laboratory at the Brookhaven National Laboratory on Long Island, New York, something extraordinary is happening. Something that will change the world forever. On this humble device, a tool used for measuring electrical signals, a new kind of game is born. A game that would lay the first brick in the massive, ever-growing empire of video games. This is Tennis for Two. Created by physicist William Higginbotham, it's considered by many to be the first true video game. A simple two-player tennis match, played on a screen with nothing more than two paddles, a bouncing ball, and a net. But why would a physicist, whose job was to develop instruments for the U.S. Atomic Energy Commission, want to create a video game? The story starts with a simple idea: to entertain the guests at the lab's public open house. Instead of the usual scientific demonstrations, Higginbotham had something else in mind. He wanted to create an interactive experience, something fun, something that would surprise the audience. So, he crafted Tennis for Two. Using an oscilloscope, a device primarily for visualizing electrical signals, he turned the tech into a platform for entertainment. With just a few knobs and a flickering screen, he gave birth to something that had never existed before: an interactive real-time video game. The game was remarkably simple, yet groundbreaking. Two players each controlled a paddle, trying to hit a ball over a net, just like tennis. It wasn't a digital world as we know it today. It wasn't 3D or even color. It was just lines on a screen reacting to the player's inputs. But the magic lay in how Tennis for Two invited interaction in a way that nothing before it had. Imagine the excitement of seeing something move on the screen, not as a static image, but as a reflection of your actions. You hit the ball and it moves. Your opponent returns it and the game reacts in real time. It was the first inkling of something we now take for granted: the joy of playing a video game.
Good has it. Good has it. Sony PlayStation! Oh my god!
Each player controls a goalie plus a forward on the other side. Oops, a goal. And
He's got 3 rings already. 13 rings already. Excellent job.
One v two.
It's a sign of respect. We've got to watch this man continue to dominate. A statement is being made. Dr. Lupo at the end of this game, he'll most likely be crowned the best Fortnite player in the world.
I've never seen anybody play in a competitive Fortnite match with a smile on his face like this kid right now, but he is absolutely dominating every single player he's run into thus far. Looking for a shot here with a couple of edits. Rotating back away, pressure from above, and he's immediately going to wall that off. The kid's
Top 10. He's smiling. He knows it. He knows it.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Though Tennis for Two was only displayed for a short time at the lab, its influence would ripple through history. It wasn't the first video game to feature graphics, nor the first to include interactive elements. But it was the first to use a screen to show a dynamic, playable experience. And in that moment, it set the stage for everything that followed. A few years later, the arcade game Pong would take the same core idea, a simple two-player tennis game, and bring it into the public consciousness. But Tennis for Two was the spark. It showed that video games could be more than just entertainment for researchers. It showed the world that this new medium was something for everyone. Without Tennis for Two, who knows where gaming would be today? Its impact can be seen in the very DNA of modern games. From the way we interact with technology to the multiplayer experiences we enjoy, it all traces back to that simple, bouncing ball on an oscilloscope screen. Games like Tennis for Two showed that video games weren't just a passing fad. They were a medium that could evolve, grow, and become a cultural force. And now, decades later, video games have shaped everything from social interaction, to art, to entertainment, to technology itself. As we step into the future with virtual reality, AI, and fully immersive gaming worlds on the horizon, it's impossible to imagine where gaming will go next. But if we look back to Tennis for Two, we can see the beginnings of it all. An idea born from simplicity, but with an impact that would change the world. So the next time you pick up a controller, remember where it all began. It all started with a physicist, an oscilloscope, and a game of tennis. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next game.